Hey there, my name is Heather Feather. I am the owner of Rare Bird Medicine, and today's topic is brother. For many of you, you may know my brother, Basil Braxton Love, suddenly died on October 27th. And he technically is my brother-in-law. He married my sister, but I have never referred to him this way. He has always been brother to me. And he's such a brother that every time I've ever called my sister, he would say, "Is that sister? Tell her I love her." And so what's interesting is to recognize who he chose to be. And he chose to be the type of person that let me know that I was dearly loved by him. And as he exits, I have no question that he loved me the whole time that he knew me as his sister. And, first I want to just invite and invoke in you, are there people that you love, and are you letting them know that you love them with your words and with your actions? I have a Scorpio Mercury and a Scorpio cusping sun, and so even though I've got, Sagittarius and Leo and lots of playful, fiery things going on, I also have the ability and a tendency to be silent in a lot of ways. And a lot of people would be surprised to hear me say that because I seem very talkative. I spend most of my time when I'm not around two-leggeds engaging in conversation, which is kind of more socially normative, in silence or, I don't know, making weird sounds at my cat. Sweet little Salusa. I want to show my people and tell my people more often how much I love them. They know it. And I'm just kind of marinating on this piece of exiting this plane and having been the type of person that made it obvious and plain for all to see that they were well loved by me. And there are many that are loved by me. And there are many that receive prayers from me. Or you could call it high conscious awareness or shaking the quantum field of probability with particles of goodness to come into your viewing matrix. We can put whatever pants or dress on it we want to, or tutus or whatever. But I want to talk about my brother because he was this unbelievable soul. And he really, much like my mother, was one of these teachers that taught me what it looks like to be unconditional love and form. And Heather's highest aim and my daily aim, there's a lot of ways to say it. One way to say it is my aim is to be unconditional love and form. Another way to say it is to serve the will of God. Another way to say it is to be happy, which I believe to be the will of God. And that's what happens when we be unconditional love and form. So, that gives us peace of mind and peace of heart and joy, true joy. And so Braxton was a very loving person. He was many knew him as Basil, but he had an uncle Basil. And when I met him, he introduced himself to me as Braxton because in his family, it was a distinction between he and his uncle, and I was family. And so Braxton was this unbelievable man that had a very hard life growing up and chose to discipline himself, was studied mixed martial arts for 25 years and has a dear beloved group of friends for the past decade that have all practiced mixed martial arts and played video games together and had this great bond and great closeness that is its own lesson in how to friend together. And he took that awareness, he took that knowledge of self-defense, of martial arts, and was very passionate about handing it to the trans community, handing it to women, making sure that those that might be victims of hate crimes or those that might feel unsafe or those that have a higher likelihood of being abducted or assaulted, he would teach them, here's how you throw a 300-pound man over your shoulder. And he would teach them, make sure your awareness is open when you're walking in a parking lot. Don't be on your cell phone. If you're walking from a building to your car, don't be on your cell phone. Wait till you get in the car and lock the door and then get on your cell phone. So he would offer all these teachings to help two-leggeds to be a participant in their safety and the experiences of their safety, which is very dear to my heart, and I think a precious thing that he chose to do. And everyone that knew him loved him well. His community all of his coworkers at Whole Foods, all of his friends, all of his brothers, everyone loved Braxton. He was an unbelievable father. He was an unbelievable beloved to my sister. He was an unbelievable man. And if you have access to Channel 8 News, Channel 8 News did an interview with my sister because he was so beloved of his community. And tonight at 10 p.m. on Channel 8, they have a segment in which my sister was interviewed because so many miss him. And I certainly do. And I pray, just like I did with my mother, my other teacher of unconditional love and form, and what that looks like, to keep him present by being his teaching in this world and offering more unconditional love and speaking it more and being it more and considering how I can shake the web more with what I want to leave behind. One of the things I was most impressed with about him was his emotional intelligence and his willingness to feel his feelings, because it's so counterculture. It's one of the strongest things I ever witnessed a man do is cry, because it's so counterculture. It's so counter to the normative conditioning here in the States. And I was always so impressed with him because not only would he feel his feelings and would he cry directly in front of me, but he would cry in front of his son, he would cry in front of his wife, and he allowed himself to be liberated beyond the bonds of what society's toxic poison wanted to hand him. And so he liberated himself and allowed himself to be authentically who he was. So there's also a GoFundMe that was created for my sister that will be announced on the news tonight, but it's also on my Instagram, it's on my Facebook, and it's also on my YouTube channel. In the bios and in the data there. So you can click on that GoFundMe if you want to contribute to my sister. Her and their son Oliver Oliver was homeschooled by Suzanne. He also goes to seed school and forest school and does a lot of cool things. But she did work odd jobs, but Braxton was the predominant breadwinner in the family. And so if you know Braxton, or if you know Suzanne, or if you know me and therefore love my people that I love, you can click on GoFundMe, or you can go to GoFundMe.com and type in Basil Braxton Love, Braxton Love. The name matched the being. And then for me, with my brother, I find myself, due to my love of my nephew and my love of my sister, really wanting to step in and support and fill his shoes to the best of my ability. And so I also have created a GoFundMe. For those of you that know me and know my cat, Ashtar, commander of the Galactic Federation of the Light. Ashtar died on November 6th. He was put to sleep due to kidney failure, and I accrued a $3,000 bill before I went to Texas, and I'll be going back to Texas for Thanksgiving and for Christmas. So Suzanne is with her family still during the holidays, and so that I get to be with her and be with Oliver during those times. And I'll be going back, of course, for his funeral, which is coming up in December. But I just want to say, you also can go to Bury My Heart and Move to Texas. You can go to GoFundMe.com and type in Bury My Heart and Move to Texas, or you can click on that link in my Instagram, in my Facebook, and as well in my YouTube channel. And that is there to support me in paying down the vet bill and also dealing with gas costs, getting back and forth to Texas 3 times by the end of this year, but ultimately to move closer to Suzanne and Oliver. I feel very compelled to fill as many of his shoes as I can, and I can't. He wore so many shoes for his family, and he did so much for them and so much for his community. And what I'm just aware of is that it's not going to work for me to be this far away from my sister and my nephew anymore. So my aim is to move to Texas, and we'll see how things shake out. Suzanne her lease isn't up for a bit, but when it's up, maybe she'll move somewhere. But my aim is to move to wherever she is. And so, putting down deposit, first and last, whatever that is, getting a U-Haul, haul my car behind the U-Haul, and all of that. I've created a GoFundMe to support me with being able to support my sister. So a couple of ways you can support if that interests you. Really why I wanted to make this video is because people are rich in different ways. And I have always been deeply, overwhelmingly rich in people. For those of you that choose to be a part of my YouTube channel and have subscribed, for the 98 people that are there, I thank you. I often pray for each of you. Even if I don't know you, I pray for your wellness and your graces for joining the channel. And the same is true for everyone on Instagram and on Facebook that watches these videos. I'm deeply grateful. My aim in creating them is to support one person. If each video can support one person, I feel like I've done my work. And it's amazing to see the outpouring of people that have watched. And one of the videos that I've done through the YouTube channel is a video called Liquid Gold. And that's kind of the space where I find myself thinking these days. My brother was liquid gold. He was unconditional love and form. He was passionate, compassionate, driven, artistic, talented. He was a talented artist. He was fun. He was funny. It almost felt like he was the berry holder of the cosmic joke. He loved to laugh. And as you all know, probably, that is one of my favorite things to do. I feel like it is one of the ways we can measure having a life well lived. So one of the things I wanted to talk about today is to consider, what is it? What is your brother in this life? Perhaps you weren't handed siblings. Perhaps your siblings didn't have a healthy relationship with you. Perhaps it wasn't your parents. Perhaps it was a grandparent. Perhaps it was a neighbor. Or perhaps it is a partner. Perhaps it is a four-legged or a child, or it is your blessing and fortune to be able to ascertain prosperity and, not struggle as so many do. Perhaps your liquid gold is your sense of humor and your light heart. Perhaps your liquid gold is your compassion for self and others. I want you to take a minute with me today to just consider, what is it that really lights you up, that really teaches you, that really grows you, that really expands you, that really offers, that really is the true value in your life. And for me, it's never been money, because I don't take money past the grave. I have high aims, like creating a brick and mortar magical college, which I'm not going to be able to finance on my own. That's going to take support when I do that in the future. But other than being able to offer to others, money has never been an aim of mine. It takes a nominal amount to exist and be happy, I feel. I've never wanted fame. I would love to just hide in a hole, actually. I've never wanted fame. But what I have craved and have had, and his death is causing me to reflect on it, is divine friendship with those that are equally yoked, that are beautiful souls, that are compassionate, that are deep, and that are rich. And so Heather Feather wants to take this day to thank any and all of you that watch this, that know me, to say, I love you. Heather Feather loves you. I love you deeply. I'm so honored to know you. Thank you for being a part of my tribe. Thank you for being a good reason to be alive. Thank you for who you be in my web of existence. And I want you to know that you're loved by me. And I want you to know that although you may not hear from me, because I tend to introvert and study, I often think of the people of my life. I often reflect on my life and various different people, and I often pray for them. And even if I haven't talked to you in a decade or two, you would be accurate if you guessed that I still pray for you, because I certainly do. I pray for every life that has ever touched mine, and every life that has caused me to evolve, even if it's been difficult in the paradigm. So thank you. Thank you. Thank you for your support through the GoFundMes. Thank you for your support of me. Thank you for being a part of this channel. And brother, oh brother of mine, oh brother, where art thou? What is it that really has fed you, that has grown you, that has evolved you, that has been a lesson to you, that has been a grace to you, that has been a gift to you? Is there anything you can do to give back to that now before it's crossed over to the other side? Mastery of Light is coming up, and it will begin in December. The lesson will go out on the 29th of November, likely. So sign up is available until the end of the day, midnight, Mountain Standard Time on November 25th. It is a 4-month course in which we will slowly look at the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual selves. So in December, we're going to look at our mind, because it's holiday time. And so January, as we start the new year, we're going to look at the body and the physical world and our finances. We're going to take a slow look at things and consider ways we can pivot or have what it is we say we've always wanted in our lives. So we step into 2024 with even more. You can always go to Rare Bird Medicine, click on the classes link or services link to see what is offered there. And you can always subscribe on YouTube, like, and comment there. Amun.